Every branch of the United States military has its own set of traditions, moments that test not only a soldier's physical strength, but their pride, willpower, and sense of belonging. But within the U.S. Army Cavalry, one tradition stands apart from the rest. It is known as the Spur Ride, a test of endurance, teamwork, and loyalty that connects modern soldiers to the warriors who came before them. It is more than a challenge. It is a living piece of Army history. But this legendary event now faces an uncertain future, and many believe that soon the Spur Ride might disappear completely. To understand why it matters, we have to go back to where it all began. The tradition of earning your spurs started centuries ago, long before the United States even existed. In the Middle Ages, cavalry knights would earn their spurs after proving themselves in battle. It was a symbol of courage and discipline, the moment a man became a true warrior of the horse. That old saying, to earn your spurs, literally came from this moment of transformation. When the U.S. Army created its first mounted regiments in the early 1800s, it carried that same idea forward. Spurs became more than decoration. They were a sign that a trooper had proven himself in the saddle. A new cavalryman without spurs was often called a slick sleeve or a shaved tail. Only after demonstrating bravery, loyalty, and skill could a soldier officially join the Brotherhood of the Cavalry. In those early days, soldiers earned their spurs in combat, riding through smoke, mud, and gunfire. Those were known as combat spurs, and they could only be earned through real battle. As warfare changed, the cavalry evolved. The horses were replaced by armored vehicles, tanks, and helicopters, but the spirit of the cavalry never died. Leaders wanted to preserve the history and the values that defined the cavalry, the courage, the endurance, and the bond between soldiers. That is when the modern Spur Ride was born. Instead of earning spurs in combat, soldiers could now earn them through a test designed to simulate the same intensity and pressure that cavalry troopers once faced. It became a rite of passage, one that demanded everything a soldier had, both physically and mentally. A modern Spur Ride usually lasts several days. Candidates, often called spur candidates or shave tails, are tested on endurance, discipline, and teamwork. They carry heavy rucksacks through long-distance marches. They navigate terrain in the dark using only a compass and a map. They complete weapons drills, medical tasks, and radio communication exercises. They face obstacle lanes, water crossings, and sleep deprivation. Every action is judged by experienced spur holders who have already earned their place in the order of the spur. The point is not just to finish, it is to prove that you can think, lead, and fight when you are completely exhausted. Some candidates fail, others are forced to repeat certain challenges, but those who make it to the end, those who never quit, earn the right to wear their silver spurs with pride. The lore behind the spurs runs deep in cavalry culture. Silver spurs are earned through the Spur Ride. Gold spurs are earned in combat. Together they represent two sides of the same coin, endurance and valor. Once a soldier earns their spurs, they are welcomed into the Order of the Spur, a brotherhood that stretches across generations. To outsiders, it might look like a simple ceremony, but to a cavalry soldier, those spurs mean everything. They're a reminder of the people who came before you and the legacy you now carry forward. It is one of the few traditions left that truly binds today's Army to its origins, but this tradition is changing, and it may not last forever. As the Army modernizes and focuses more on technology, cyber operations, and unmanned warfare, traditions like the Spur Ride are becoming harder to maintain. Units face stricter time schedules, limited budgets, and new mission priorities. Some leaders see the Spur Ride as outdated or inefficient. Others argue that soldiers no longer understand the true meaning behind it. Across the Army, many units have quietly reduced the scale of their Spur Rides or stopped holding them altogether. And with fewer cavalry units left in active service, it is possible that one day the Spur Ride might vanish completely. To older generations of cavalrymen, that idea feels almost unthinkable, because to them, the Spur Ride is not just a test, it is a link to the past. It is proof that tradition and pride still have a place in a modern army. Even if the Spur Ride ends, its spirit will never truly die. Every spur holder carries that same mindset: never quit, never complain, never leave a teammate behind. It is a way of thinking that defines what it means to be cavalry with or without the ride itself. The metal spurs might fade, the ceremonies might stop, and the rides might end. But the lessons they teach, endurance, teamwork, and honor, will live on in every soldier who once earned them. Because the Spur Ride was never just about a piece of metal on your boots. It was about proving something to yourself. And that kind of tradition, the kind built on heart and history, never really dies.